Okay, well, we got most of our rough sanding done. So the next thing that we're going to do, before we can start on the handle, is we're going to have to heat treat this again. Remember, we started out in the forge to take some of the hardness out of the blade so that it would be easier to shape. But now we're going to have to temper it to bring some of that hardness back. So I'm going to go set my forge up, and we'll heat treat it, quench it, and do a couple other things to it, and then we'll start making the handle. Okay, so I'm going to go set my forge up now. Okay, so we got the forge set up, and we're heating up our coals over there. And what we're going to do now is we're going to temper the blade. Remember, when we first started this project, we heated up the raw steel to make it softer so it'd be easier to shape and grind and sand and all that. But now we want to bring that strength back, and we'll do that by tempering the blade. So what we're going to do is we're going to heat it up until it becomes non-magnetic. Now right now that magnet sticks to it, but we get it hot enough it won't be magnetic anymore, and then that means it's time to pull it out of the heat. And then we're going to quench it in motor oil to line up all those steel molecules in there again, all going in one direction, and that'll make it nice and strong. It'll actually be too strong. When it gets too hard, it also gets brittle. So after we finish this process, there'll be one more step in the heat treating, and that'll be, I'll go ahead and I'll clean it off real good, and I'll put it in the oven in my kitchen for about an hour at about I don't know, I got to look it up. I think it's about 200 degrees or somewhere in there, and that'll draw out some of that hardness that this will put into the blade. So it'll still be plenty strong, but it just won't be so brittle after that. So we're actually going to do that twice. We'll put it in there for an hour at temperature, and then let it naturally cool off to room temperature, and then we'll do that again. We'll do that twice. We'll bring it back up to 200 degrees or so, and then let it cool down naturally, and that'll be the end of the heat treating. Then I can go back in and do the final sanding, get these scratch marks out, and then we can start making the handle. Okay, so the coals look ready. By the way, I preheated the quench oil, so that's sitting on the kitchen stove right now. We want to bring that up to about 120 to 130 degrees. So I got that going on. This kind of gets like cooking. You got to make sure everything kind of comes out at the right time. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our coals in the forge. Okay, and I made myself some hillbilly blacksmith thongs, so I kind of burned myself the last time. Okay, that looks good. Go ahead and put the knife in. Turn on the blower. Should take a while to get up to temperature. I'm going to run into the kitchen and check on my oil temperature on the quench oil. Okay, my quench oil temperature is right at about 120 right now, so I turn the heat down, and we'll try to maintain that until this is ready. And it's starting to get a little red toward the tip of the blade where it's thinner. Go check on that quench oil again. Don't want to burn the house down. Okay, that's looking okay. Now we're not too worried about the handle portion of the blade, where the knife. We're more worried about the knife part, the blade part. The handle part's still thick enough that even if the metal is soft there, it'll still be plenty strong. Alright, I don't think it's hot enough yet to be not magnetic, but we'll give it a try. Okay, it's actually at the right temperature. It's not magnetic anymore, so I'm going to go get my quench oil. Okay, so this could be kind of spectacular here. Let's see what happens. Okay, so that's lining up all those steel molecules. They'll be all in one direction, so that'll be nice and strong. Okay, forgot to preheat the oven. Okay, as soon as the oven comes up to temperature, we'll put it in there and we'll draw out some of that hardness. That'll finish the tempering process. And then we can clean it up. Okay, we got our oven temperature up to about 400. So we're going to go ahead and put the knife in. I'm going to let that sit in there for an hour. So I'm going to use Henny to time it. Set this for just about an hour. And then once the hour is up, we'll let it cool down to room temperature just naturally. And then we'll do that whole process again, and that'll draw out some of that hardness, the brittleness in the blade. So it'll still be strong, but it'll be a little flexible, so you know, if you ever misuse it by trying to pry something with it, it won't just snap. So we got an hour, 2 hours actually, maybe 3 altogether. So let's go have a beer. too good. Ow! Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Oh, man. Ow. Well, I guess at some point you gotta realize in the process this thing actually becomes a knife. Oh, man. Alright, so just gonna think about the next thing I'm gonna do here. Oh, shit. Damn it. Well, one problem I ran into was the jig that I made worked fine for one side, but it didn't work for the other side, so I had to make image mirror jigs. Image mirror jigs? Damn. Mirror image jigs. Cut. Forgot what I was going to say. Okay, we got the second jig made. Got a little bit more filing to do on it up here, but I think that's going to work fine.